We're live now to Voice of America's journalist Jonathan Murithi, live in New York. Jonathan, good day to you there. What's happening there at the moment?
Thank you very much, Studios. I hope you can hear me.
We can. What's happening there?
All right. It's the early stages of the process, just as it was explained there, that former President Donald Trump is about to appear in court pretty close to where I am right now. And I think the most outstanding thing right now is to see the beefing up of the security around the courtroom and in the general neighborhood of Lower Manhattan, as we expect any time from now that former President Donald Trump will be taken to court to answer charges of, as you explained there, to take a plea in brief, and then we'll know what will follow after that.
Are there many people around that courtroom?
There's quite a number of people right now. It's about 10 a.m. here in New York, and people started streaming in here very early in the morning. Most of them coming from where former President Donald Trump was born in Queens, and they haven't been allowed to get very close to the courtroom, of course, because of security issues. But indeed, there are many people that are trying to follow what is going on, even though, as I said, security has been beefed up and they are not allowing people into the courtroom as of yet.
What's the mood like there, Jonathan? We know that Donald Trump is a very divisive figure.
Well, the mood generally, as you mentioned, Donald Trump, as I also said earlier, he was born here in New York, in the Queensboro, and he is a figure, a very well-known figure here in Manhattan. But generally speaking, he doesn't have a very good number of people that we can call his followers here in New York because of the many things that have happened ever since, even before he ran for president. He became a bit divisive, as you said, but he still has his own followers, or people that support him, his own supporters here, but they are not as many, and that is one of the reasons why the mayor of New York said yesterday that they are going to make sure that not if there will be any demonstrations, that they should be done in a way that respects the rule of law, and that they will be on the lookout. Just to say that his supporters are also here, but we haven't seen a lot of demonstrations, but anything can happen between now and later in the day when he does take that plea. So we are just following to see what might happen here before he takes his plea in court.
And the impact of this on the presidential race. Many people expect Donald Trump to run again for president. Will this impact that?
Indeed, that is one of the issues that are really being discussed here regarding what this means politically for Donald Trump, who has already announced that he will run for president come next year. And so people are looking at this issue in two ways. There are those who think that what is going to happen today is going to have a positive impact to his campaign, and there are those who feel that it might affect how he runs his campaign going forward. So the opinion here is divided on the relevance or the importance of the actions that are going to be taken today on his campaign. And mainly this is all because President Donald Trump has even he himself has said that he's being persecuted, that things that are being done here are politically motivated. And therefore is a wait and see, a kind of a game where we'll know whether this will have a positive impact or a negative impact on his campaign come next year, when we expect that he probably, most likely, is going to be the Republican Party's nominee for the presidency.
And the idea, the history of this, the United States, the world's oldest democracy, over 230 years of uninterrupted democracy in the United States, the first time a former U.S. president appears in court in this way. It's a big moment for that country.
Definitely, and that is why this is a very big story, not only here in the U.S., but around the world, because as you mentioned, many people do look at the United States as a beacon of hope in terms of democracy, even though obviously there are other challenges here. It's not a perfect situation here in the U.S., but again, it does do better than many countries when it comes to democracy. Now, this being the very first time that we are seeing a former president, or even a sitting president for that matter, being taken to court and taking a plea in a criminal case, is something that even pundits are not really able to think of what might follow or what this really means, because as you said there, this is the first time this is happening. And therefore, again, it's a wait and see a kind of a game where we will know what happens after this. But in terms of people being quite surprised and just waiting to see what this will mean, being a first time, then this is happening not only here in New York, but around the country.
And Trump himself, due to speak tonight, I imagine he is going to attack the prosecutor for this.
Clearly, there is no doubt that when he gets on the plane and flies back to Florida in Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump is going to, without a doubt, take take advantage of the events of today and repeat his lines that he is being prosecuted. And I'm saying this because some of his lawyers have been speaking on TV stations here in the U.S., saying that, first of all, it's almost definite that he is not going to plead guilty. And they have said that this is a political persecution. So we expect that when he speaks later in the evening today, he is going to say that he's being persecuted and that his supporters should see this for what it is, according to his lawyer's words, that they are taking, this is a politically motivated case. And not to forget that this is just one of the many cases that have been investigated or are being investigated, and we might see more of these kinds of arraignments in the future, depending on how the investigations progress later. Probably later this month or even a few months from now.
Jonathan Murithi from Voice of America, really appreciate that update. Thank you very much indeed. I'm sure a very busy day for you.